the Steelers have hired former Dolphins head coach Brian Flores as defensive assistant slash senior defensive assistant. Mostly defensive assistant slash linebackers coach. There's a lot of titles to this thing. And, well, still during the NFL lawsuit that he has against 3 other teams. To me, I don't have a problem with him having a job. I thought he would have a job by now. My whole thing was this. This lawsuit should be over at this point. Okay? This should not be continuing, I think, in his mind. Because the things that he's fighting, I get, but it's going to be hard to change. Now, granted, is that impossible to change? No. But I do think that the fact that Stephen Ross did fire him for no apparent reason doesn't help the whole situation at all. A report came out yesterday that agents are organizing an NFL Combine boycott. 150 draft prospects are supposed to be a part of it. And it's because it would force the players to be in a bubble for 4 days and doing multiple activities that they would normally do in a 4-day period to be in shorter increments. So, for an example, you would be running the same day as potentially doing one-on-one player drills, which is not great, but I understand the reason of trying to say that, oh, I just want to boycott the combine. But if that's because you don't want to be in a bubble, like, I'm sorry, that's just the world we live in. I'm sorry, like, there's not much we can do about that. Like, if it was our decision, we wouldn't have to do this. But we have no choice. You're going to have to, unfortunately. But I think that's how you have to think about it. And if you don't go to the combine, like, you're going to have to do a great pro day, to be honest with you. Where if you go to the combine and you don't have a great combine, it's like, okay, well, I can freeze up on my pro day a little bit, or I'll just do a pro day, that's it. But there's a lot going on. The Vikings have hired a new offensive coordinator, as Wes Phillips, who was the Rams' passing game coordinator, is now their new offensive coordinator. I said this over and over again because it's true. If you're, first off, I understand Kevin O'Connell is, or was the offensive coordinator for the Rams, and now the head coach of the Vikings. He's never called plays before. Never. Sean McVay has called the plays. So when you've gotten a head coaching job, and you bring their passing game coordinator to you to be your offensive coordinator, that's not helpful in any particular way. I find that there could be a problem in this if it's not delicate. Like, there's some people that are really good at this. When Nick Sirianni got the job with the Eagles, we thought, oh boy, he's better bring in the guy who's knowledgeable as being an offensive coordinator. And when he said, no, I'm calling the plays, we were like, oh my gosh. No, don't do this. And for the first half of the week, we were right. But for the second half of the season, he did turn it around and it looked pretty good. So, if this won't be great to start off with, but you just hope he can get a little bit of a rhythm later in the year. And you hope that the Vikings give him time to figure this new role out. Speaking about the Rams are hiring Kentucky's Liam. I'm trying to remember how to say this. Liam Cohen, excuse me, Liam Cohen, to replace Kevin O'Connell as their OC. He was a former Rams assistant. He knows Sean McVay. It will be a... And finally, the Bengals, Ricardo Allen, has retired after 2 Super Bowl appearances. Now, the NFL had it down as 8 years of a career. The New Yorker / like Washington Post kind of thing that they have over there said 7 years. So I ended up just putting 7-8 years in the NFL. He retired at 30. He's going to be also a coach, like Eric Weddle, who's going to be a high school coach after this year. So it should all be good. I'm happy for Ricardo Allen. He had a great career. To retire, being in 2 Super Bowls, did not play a whole lot, only started 1 game, and that was because of injury. I think he did pretty well. He signed a 1-year deal with the Bengals, spent most of his career in Atlanta. He is now retired as a Cincinnati Bengal at the age of 30.